Well, hello again, my Port Naz family. You are missed and you're loved, and I get an honor to bring to you another proverb today. And we'll be going through Proverbs 9, 1 through 10. But before we do, I want to bring to you a quick story that kind of, as I was reading this, it kind of reminded me, because it's talking about food a bit and coming to the table. And not too long ago, I sat down with our family. We wrote down some questions and put it in a jar. We began to draw them out and ask each other some questions. And one of the questions I got was, what is your favorite meal? So I want you to pause real quick. Think about it. What was your favorite meal if someone were to ask you that? A lot of things came to my mind. Something that Vaughn had cooked, or maybe my mom had cooked, or my grandma in the past, what that favorite meal was, and then it hit me. Years back, I went on this golf trip with my friends down to San Diego, and we stopped in Newport at this restaurant. It was what I've never experienced before, but it was called a Brazilian barbecue. And when you sit there, you sit down at your table, and you're invited to sit, and then you're given a plate, and it says, feel free to go, and there's a huge salad bar in this one area where you can fill out whatever you want on your plate to make it just designed for you. And then the best thing at all happens, you sit down, and everybody has their individual little cubes, and one half of this block of wood is red, and the other half is green. And when you turn it over to green, guess what happens? The waiter or waitress comes by, and they have these skewers with meat, all kinds of meats. All kinds of meats you can think about. Bacon wrap this and tri-tip that, and steaks and fillets and fish and chicken and pork and you name it, they probably had it. And you'd sit there and you'd eat what you wanted, and they'd slice it off your plate, and you'd say no to things you didn't want. I learned the trick of eating more what you like and saying no to things you didn't want to try. And even more, they would ask you, do you want the outer cut or the inner cut? Do you want it more rare or more well done? And you got to have it just how you wanted it. It was perfect banquet table, right? But I don't think that's the kind of style when we hear about this banquet table that we're going to read in a second, that this Solomon, this wisdom writer, is going to be asking us to think through, or in the New Testament that Jesus invites us to. So let's read together chapter 9, 1 through 10. It says this: wisdom has built her house. She has hewed out its 7 pillars. Just right there, it's a reminder of this perfection, the 7 pillars that this banquet table, this house is ready to roll, and it is perfected for us to come and visit. And she has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her maids, and she calls from the highest point of the city, let all who are simple come in here. She says to those who lack judgment, come and eat my food at my table, and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways, and you will live. Walk in the ways of understanding. Whoever corrects a mocker invites insult. Whoever rebukes the wicked man incurs abuse. Do not rebuke a mocker, or he will hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Instruct a wise man, and he will be wiser still. Teach a righteous man, and he will add to his learning. And here's the culmination of this section. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. You see, wisdom, she invites us to enter into this relationship at this table. God's inviting us to come and commune with him. It's an amazing thought and an amazing imagery. We want you to think about it. The difference is, this is not the Brazilian barbecue way. See, that way is a way where I come to the table the way I want to come to it. I come to the set table, but then I ask you to make sure you design it just the way I like it. And this, unfortunately, is the way we see this relationship at times. We try to live after God and want what God has, but we do it in our own way, and that's not the way the host has invited us to come and enjoy his meal. In short, this verse 10 begins to invite us into something new. This fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You see, when we fear God, it's not that we're afraid of God. It's that we begin to understand the majestic understanding of who God is. We see how huge we become in awe of this master and this host. And when we come and sit at this table, we don't dare tell him how he should do it. We sit and we just say, thank you for your elements. Thank you for what you've prepared for us. We see this imagery right in the New Testament. We see it right before you in the elements I put here, the bread and the wine or the juice. And we understand that this obviously symbolizes, in this sense, God's brokenness in his body and his blood that's shed for me. And when I hear these elements, I don't say, well, thank you, but by the way, can I have my medium rare? I begin to say, thank you for all you've done for me. A question I'll end with you today. What are you feeding yourself today? What are you feeding the most? Flesh and spirit, because one of them is going to win out. And have you learned to fear the Lord, being in awe of who God is, saying thank you for what you have sacrificed and how you prepared the table for me. God bless you today, and I hope it's a great one.